Hello everyone, I hope everyone is doing well today. So today I have a story time about a girl. So let's call this girl Linda. Okay. So once upon a time, Linda had like serious school fees debt. She was drowning in school fees debt and she was struggling to clear this debt, especially with the job that she had. Because she had like a really low paying job. So Linda used to rent like rooms in flats and it was working for her. But then one day in reflection, while Linda was sitting trying to, brainstorm how she could clear this debt faster, she thought, why rent a room when you can actually share the room? So Linda decided to go on this popular site where people post like jobs and houses and room shares and stuff. So she found someone who was also looking to share a room. And then when she texted the person, it turned out that they were actually on the same page. This person was also dying to get a roommate so they could save money faster. So Linda met up with the person, and there were red flags. I mean, she should have known better. But Linda was young, mind you, and I didn't mention it, so I wouldn't say mind you, mind you. Linda was young, so she was also she was a bit impressionable. So and being young, it was hard for her to pick up on red flags that she could have picked up on if she was a little bit older and a little bit more mature. So Linda went and met this person and they talked and talked and talked and then they made their plans on how to get a place. And what's actually quite interesting and a little bit ironic and a little bit of a red flag was the person that Linda found who was looking to share a room didn't have a room to share because usually people post room shares when they have a room and they would like to share their room with someone else. But it turned out that this person that Linda met didn't have a room, so they still had to find a room together. So they kept on looking, and eventually this person found a room for them, a very nice room. And interesting, the room that this person found was in a complex where Linda used to live, where she used to rent a room, but she moved out because of other circumstances beyond their control. So Linda and the new person that she found. Should we name the person? I think we should name her. What should we name the person that Linda found? Let's call her Mary. Okay, so just a little quick um catch up. Catch up. Catch up. Linda Linda was running in school fees debt and she said she's going to share a room so she could save money quicker. So she went on this popular site where people post rooms and room shares and flats and stuff like that, like property. And people also sell on that site and people get jobs on that site, interestingly. So Linda went onto the site and she met Mary. Mary was much older than Linda. And when Linda first texted Mary, she was under the impression that Mary already had a room that she was planning to share with someone else. She didn't realize that Mary didn't have a room. They still had to find a room together. But it wasn't much of a deal breaker. So, uh, as much as it was a red flag, it wasn't a deal breaker for Linda. So, Linda and Mary started looking for a place together, and then Mary found them a place in a complex where Linda used to rent a room. So, they moved in together into this room that Mary had found for them. So, while the room searches were happening, while Linda and Mary were looking for a place, Linda would sometimes go and visit Mary at a place where she was staying. And Mary was an oversharer. So she started talking about how she had a baby daddy. And the I hate that term, but I have to use it. Especially with the way this story goes down, I have to use the word baby daddy. So Mary started telling Linda about how she has a baby daddy. And this baby daddy did her dirty. Like he was cheating on her when she was pregnant and like a lot of things that this guy did to Mary, which were really unfair. So Mary is telling Linda these stories about the baby dad and the struggles with like depression and like the other people that she's lived with in the past, and just like a lot of stories that Mary had to tell, which wasn't a red flag to Linda really, because Linda enjoyed listening to these stories because Mary was quite the storyteller. So after Mary found a room for her and Linda, they had to move in, but they moved in separate. So Linda went to find someone who could help her move your stuff, like movers, a mover, courier, like a mover, or call it for the movers. So she had to find someone with a truck to move your stuff. And when Linda got to the place where she was going to share with Mary, Mary said to her, "Oh, the person that moved your stuff is actually the baby dad I was talking about." Linda didn't do this intentionally because as much as she did about like the baby dad and stuff, she never asked to see a picture of him or ask like more information that would like help her recognize the person. So it's only when Linda got to the new place and Mary saw the person who was moving Linda's stuff, she was like, "That's actually my baby dad that I was talking about." So Linda was like, "Oh wow, that's interesting. Very, very interesting." So so like, okay, I mean, this was someone who was just helping you move this stuff. So she just shrugged it off and said, "Oh, I didn't realize, but I mean, really, this is nothing. This has nothing to do with me, not my monkey, not my circus." So Linda and Mary started living together. And it was quite nice in the beginning because now Mary being a bit older than Linda, she was like a bit of an older sister, a force for good, a little bit of, you know, yeah, a bit of an older sister. So she would guide Linda and they would talk about things and they would like, remind each other about their goal to save money. And everything was going well until Mary started like accusing Linda of having rendezvous with her baby daddy. And like when I think of it, I mean, if just because you have a child with someone, it doesn't mean, okay, I'm going to retract that. I'm going to retract it. But Linda wasn't doing anything. She never, ever since the day she moved, she never saw this person because they were from different worlds. So there was no reason for them to meet, like not even accidentally meet. Because as I said, they were from completely different worlds. And Linda had no intention of meeting this person. But Mary started accusing Linda of meeting up with your baby dad. And she even went as far as to say people have been seeing her around and like she would make up like some really crazy stories. The other day she even said she saw someone saw the baby dad drop off Linda by the house. Like this was like getting really scary. And what was like scary about this lady was sometimes Linda would wake up in the middle of the night and Mary's just sitting there staring at her. And the fact that like Mary would make up all these stories made it really scary because that points to some type of disorder, like disillusion. this, like some like yeah, like she had voices in her head because she'd make up like really intricate stories on how Linda and the baby dad were like gallivanting together. So it was like Linda would like try to explain to you that like I mean this guy and myself are from different worlds and I would never if want to have anything to do with this person. But the more she tried to convince Linda, the more it seemed as if she was lying. Sorry, the more Linda tried to convince Mary, the more it seemed as if she was lying. So Linda tried to explain herself like, girl, you got the wrong person. It's not me. If there is someone busy with your baby dad, it's not me. But then the more Linda tried to convince Mary, the more Mary got suspicious and started like making up even more stories. So she would talk about how Linda, because Linda liked to jog and run. So she would talk about how Linda was seen running with with a baby dad, like all sorts of weird stories. So it eventually, like it was getting like really scary and dark because like Mary would talk about how she beat up a bee with an itch was messing with her baby daddy, and she beat up this one and she did this to this one. So now she's talking about things that she has done to people who have messed with the baby daddy in the past, and she's telling this story to someone that she's accusing of messing with the baby daddy. So Linda decided she had no business living with this lady. So she now came up with a story about how she had got engaged to a boyfriend. Stories. She came up with a story on how she had got engaged to a boyfriend, and now they were going to move in together and try cohabitating and see how that works for them. So she told Mary she was going to move out. So, but eventually, of course, Mary read into that. So she said to Linda one day, "Oh, I know you're not going to move in with your boyfriend. I know you're just trying to get away from me. But girl, who would want to get away from you? You dog, you scary." So just to go back to the beginning, when Linda and Mary first moved in together, they both had their own stuff. Like they both had fridges and they both had beds. So Linda sold most of her stuff, but she didn't want to sell a fridge because it was quite sentimental to her. So so and the lady that they were going to share the flat with. So it was a two-bedroom flat. Linda and Mary were going to share a room, and then the owner of the flat was living there. It was actually sorry, no, it was a two-bedroom flat. So the one room, which was the lounge, was converted into a bedroom, which was now the owner of the flat's bedroom. And then the first bedroom, um, he had the owner of the flat's kids sleeping in there. And then okay, I don't know, I got lost it there. I'm going to start it over. So this was a two-bedroom flat, but the lounge was converted into a bedroom. So the owner of the flat was sleeping in the lounge, and then the first bedroom, it was the um owner of the flat's two kids, and then the second bedroom was Linda and Mary. So because now there wasn't enough space in the kitchen for both Linda and Mary's fridges and the owner of the flat's fridge, Linda's fridge ended up in the kids' room, and a TV as well ended up in the kids' room. So Linda and Mary were using Mary's TV and they were using Mary's fridge, while Linda's fridge and TV were in the kids' room. So one day, actually, Linda came back home and Mary told her that she had cleaned the kids' room because the owner of this flat wasn't like the cleanest person, but she was a single mother and she had a full-time job. So it's understandable that she was probably mostly tired and she didn't have time to do a lot of cleaning. So one day when Linda came back from work, Mary told her that she had cleaned the kids' room and it was so dirty, but she folded the clothes and cleaned the room and stuff like that. But when Linda went in to look into this room, it didn't look very clean. It just looked like someone just attempted to touch it up and just left it like that. Not much cleaning was done. But Linda didn't think much of it really. So eventually, Linda managed to find a room because she had learned sharing a room is not it's not funny. It's not child's play. So she finally found her own room and she moved out. And the day Linda was moved out, she noticed that there was a bit of a cut on the cable of a fridge. But honestly didn't think much of it. And you know who was helping her move the fridge? Mary herself. So Linda moved her fridge. Linda moved her stuff. She took a fridge, took a TV from the kids' room, and she moved everything. She moved into the new room that she had found. So after Linda moved into the new room that she had found, she wanted to plug in a fridge and then realized that the fridge wasn't working. Like it was just quiet. But while the fridge was like so quiet, like it wasn't turning on. So while the fridge wasn't turning on, there was a sound like shh. I don't know how to say, so I'll just say there was a shh sound coming from the back of the fridge. And then when Linda turned the fridge to check what was going on at the back of the fridge, she realized that there was this like I will see if I can find a picture of it. There's this like tank which I assume is gas because fridges use a gas. I don't know how the whole gas thing works, but I know fridges use gas. So there's this like I would say copper. It's copper colored. It's a copper colored tank at the back of the fridge, at the bottom. So it's not inside the fridge, behind, outside the fridge, right at the bottom. There's usually this copper tank. I don't know if all fridges are like, but Linda's fridge was like that. There was like this copper tank there, which I said assume it's a gas tank. So there's a cable, there's like a wire, copper wire that comes from that tank going into other parts of the fridge. It was broken. So someone, and it's actually quite a strong wire. So someone broke that wire, like literally broke it off. That's why the gas was escaping from the fridge, hence the sound. And the cable had been cut. You could tell it had been cut with a like a blade, like a knife. It must have been a knife or like some sort of blade cut the cable of the fridge. Linda was devastated because she really loved this fridge. The reason why she didn't sell the fridge, regardless of not having space for it in the place where she was sharing a room, is because she loved it. So she really was devastated, but she was like, you know what, at least I got out of that place with my life. And then her TV. So you see at the back of the TV, there's like the HDMI port. Linda's HDMI port had been scratched out. So like there's the HDMI port right inside the HDMI port. There's this thing that looks like a memory card. So it's this black piece of plastic in there. It had been scraped out, and yeah, the cable, yeah, and the cable was cut as well. Yeah, the cable was cut, and the HDMI thing was scraped out. So the TV, so Linda could like patch up the cable of the TV and turn it on. Um, but now she couldn't use the HDMI port. She used to use for things that she used to use the HDMI port. She had to use AV cords. Thank God she thought of that. But now the issue was the fridge. She basically didn't have a fridge anymore. Um, and like she thought of getting it fixed because so she spoke to someone who she knew will fix fridges, and she thought of fixing the fridge, but just the trauma of seeing that someone did that to your stuff and just thinking of what this person could have done to her was like really catching up with her. So she decided she's not going to keep the fridge. So she sold the fridge. Really, she was going to just give away this fridge, but the guy insisted. He said he felt so bad for her, so he insisted on giving us a little bit of money, like, but literally it was money that, I mean, she could just buy a loaf of bread that this guy gave her. So the guy said he could still fix the fridge and resell it. But oh, another thing, the fridge was stabbed inside. So it was the gas tank that had, like the wire was broken and the cable, the power cable that was cut. But inside the fridge as well, the fridge was stabbed. Can you believe it? This lady stabbed the fridge inside. That's one another like really, really creepy and scary thing. She stabbed like there were stab holes inside the fridge. So this you see that white interior of the fridge, it had holes in it, stab holes. So you can imagine like the kind of rage that Mary had to stab inside the fridge. So just Linda thinking that those stab wounds could have been on her if she had continued to stay with this woman was just scaring her. So despite the stab markings inside the fridge and the cut cables, the fridge repairman said he could still repair it. So Linda just gave this fridge to her. Linda just gave the fridge to the guy. So Linda texted Mary. She was like, "Wow, you will not believe the state that I found my stuff in." So she explained what had happened to the TV and what had happened to the fridge. And what did Mary say? Mary said, "Oh, it must be the kids." I mean, the this kid. It was a boy and a girl. The boy was like 3, 4 years old, and the girl 6 years old. And she was saying these children climbed, opened the fridge, climbed in there, and stabbed it, and turned the fridge to cut the wires at the back. And they also scraped out the HDMI port of the TV. Like the fact that this woman would try and put it on kids is just unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. So yeah, um, Linda is still going through life. Life be life in Linda, but Linda is staying strong. So after another funny thing, the day Linda moved out, she had the pillows stored under the bed. So when she left, she forgot the pillows. So she had to go back there. She decided, like a new flatmate was like, "Ma'am, I don't think you should go back there." But Linda wanted the pillows, so she went and fetched the pillows. Can you believe it? And it was so awkward when she it just see Mary again, still after especially knowing what Mary had done to her fridge. So fast forward to like a month or two after Linda moved out and left Mary, someone called into Linda's workplace. So Linda worked in a very family friendly in a family store, very family friendly store. Like family used to go there shopping and stuff. Families used to go there shopping and stuff. So someone phoned Linda's manager and said, "Oh, I'm calling to talk about your staff member Linda. Linda has been texting my husband and sending my husband in nude pictures." So the manager went to Linda and said, "Linda, I got this really strange call from someone who is claiming you sending your husband messages and your nudes, but I don't know you like that girl, so I'm going to let it pass. But if you'd ever think of doing something like that, I wouldn't advise that you do something." So weird. But yeah, the manager left because she knew Linda would never do anything like that. She said that was like a really, really weird call. So she just said to the person, "I'll talk to Linda and make sure this doesn't happen again." You can only guess who phoned into Linda's workplace. Yeah, so that's the story of Linda and Mary and the roommate from the nightmare roommate, the roommate from hell that Linda had once upon a. So Linda learned you don't share a room with nobody. It doesn't matter how you feel about them, unless it's family, of course. But family, I mean like your own sibling. Because also living with family, like with the extended family, can also be a little bit interesting and tricky. Don't share a room. Sharing a flat is understandable because you still have your own space that you can lock your door and get away from all the chaos outside. But sharing a room is too intimate. It's just too close to home. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video. Please watch my other videos. Oh, and don't forget to comment, share. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Bye.